The memory starts in the dark, with a stage. I hear my mother's voice whispering to look behind me. At first, I think my eyes are playing a trick. Animals, big and small, crowd the aisle, making their way onto the brightly lit stage. The room has exploded with energy. To this day, Lion King is still the only musical that reawakens that same childlike wonder I felt 14 years ago. The moment that first note of that iconic song collides with the audience is an instance that is incredibly unforgettable. My entire perspective of the world changed in that instant. I remember comparing the performance to Disney's 1994 classic film and being struck by the fact that there was no screen in between the actors and I. They were really there, right in front of me. Lion King may have been my first profound experience with the arts, but it definitely wasn't my last. My love for the arts grew into an obsessive need to be surrounded by music, theater, dance, and eventually led me to a career teaching art. My little sister Delaney also loves art, and in the days when boredom set in, we would spend hours upon hours playing dress up, creating sock puppets to put on shows with, or lip singing to our favorite Broadway songs from Grease and Wicked. Delaney loves to act out her favorite scenes from television shows. Her favorite color is gold, and she has autism spectrum disorder. Being shy and seeing the world through a different lens sometimes makes it difficult for my sister to connect to others. She often asks for my advice on how to make friends or how to get better at starting conversations. The countless hours we spent talking and searching for solutions finally led her to an audition for the school play. Looking back, it made perfect sense. She could, and still does, recite every single line from every single episode of Scooby-Doo, could rewrite the script of the Goonies backwards and forwards if she had to, and I swear to God has one of the best Patrick Star impersonations in the history of Patrick Star impersonations. Why not introduce that personality to the stage? Seeing her name on the cast list that next week is still one of my most valuable memories. Watching Delaney on stage is incredibly inspiring. On stage, she isn't different than the other kids. She isn't the girl who has trouble communicating or making friends. She isn't even ordinary. She's completely alive. Theater and the arts help to project her voice and personality out into the world for others to see. But unfortunately, not every student is as lucky as my sister. According to Americans for the Arts, 97% of elementary schools nationwide don't offer dance, and 96% don't offer theater. However, as humans, we tend to hunt down the negative aspects and ignore the positive changes that the arts have made in the lives of students. Students who study art are 4 times more likely to be recognized for academic achievement and 3 times more likely to be awarded for school attendance. We need to stop this pessimistic execution of the arts and begin a renaissance of positive advocacy. If we took art out of the world, it would be a world without humanity. From the first handprint painted on a cave wall to the first performance of Lin-Manuel Miranda's Hamilton, mankind has expressed themselves and progressed themselves through art. That creative spark is what makes humans human. The arts have the ability to promote communication, social engagement, and emotional growth for students. This is just one out of the millions of reasons why funding local arts programs is so critical for the growth of our communities. There are students out there just like my sister, voices begging to be heard. The reality is, people want the arts. In 2016, a survey created by Americans for the Arts showed that an overwhelming majority of the American public, 88%, agrees that the arts are a part of a well-rounded K-12 education, including 56% who strongly agree. Through the power of artistic expression, today's students can find the courage to send their voices out into the dark for others to hear, just as Delaney has done, and continues to do even after she performed her final school musical last month. She continues to be a shining example of how the arts can touch the lives of students and why they belong in the schools, right next to maths and sciences. When the arts are represented in schools, students are exposed to new ways of creative problem solving, critical thinking, and connects them to the outside world, skills that are just as valuable as finding the value of X. Oftentimes, when my mom can't drive my sister to work, I offer to take her. It's only a 5-minute drive, but we use every single second we have to blast show tunes and compete to see who knows more of the words. I don't think I've ever won. One day, before I dropped her off, we were reminiscing about shows she had been in and talking about the impact it had on her ability to make friends. I asked her, "Lainey, why are you so confident? I'm always so jealous of how you're so confident on stage." She laughed, but said ever so humbly, "Theater is like being myself, I guess. I think with autism, I might struggle with communication or feel like I'm not good enough. But with theater, I can do anything. I can become my own character, and there's really nobody to judge me for that." Thank you.